Now, this is what I call a poll. All right? How do you like this? We're looking at the highest poll numbers on record for one Donald J. Trump. This is just incredible, you guys. A historic poll. We're going to dig into it. We're going to talk about the media frenzy. I mean, they don't know what to think. They can't believe this. How is it that everything they've been telling everybody forever is now turning out to be wrong, and one Donald Trump is soaring yet again to historic levels in the polls? I wore orange today for a reason, because we got a lot of people that are going to be wearing orange soon, and I just wanted to kind of show it off and show, maybe it's not all that bad, Letitia, LaMonica, and Lisa Cook, the latest. Apparently now her lawyer is making excuses, saying, oh, well, she just wasn't vetted strongly enough. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're lying on your mortgages, as it is alleged, Lisa, honey, baby, you got some real problems, as do you, Tishy. Oh, wait till you guys see. Wait until you see the video that I've got of Letitia James being completely humiliated. It's quite special. She's dancing. Not something you want to see, but you gotta. Okay, welcome to the show, everyone. I am Trish Regan. Good to have you here. Make sure you subscribe, share, like. We are on our way to 1 million. We just made top 100 again on YouTube's top podcast. That's like not just political podcasts. That's like all the podcasts out there in the universe. So it's really kind of an honor. I'm super excited, and we're going to keep climbing. Hey, Joe Rogan, watch out. All right, good to have you guys here. We begin today on this incredible poll news, incredible poll news, historic numbers. I mean, this is the biggest number he's seen yet. Imagine that. With the Democrats squawking like they do on and on and on and on all day, he's getting record poll numbers, 55% approval rating. How do you like that? MSNBC, I'll tell you. Poor Peppermint Patty over there at MSNBC or whatever the heck they call it now, the Ms. Network. At the Ms. Network, she decided to go on television last night and say this, which, within 12 hours basically, had totally expired.
We may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public. But you don't actually need baseless online conspiracies to explain why he might not want to show his face in public right now. I mean, for starters, there's the polling, and boy, is it brutal.
Yeah, not so brutal. I mean, maybe brutal for you, Jenny, Peppermint Patty, whatever you'd like to go by. I mean, she's just a sad, sorry excuse for a journalist. I'm sorry, but the woman, for goodness sakes, was Joe Biden's press person. Okay, so she's an operative of the Democrat Party, and now they stick her into some slot, which, I'm sorry, she's trying. We'll give her that. She's trying, but I'm going to pay Rachel Maddow a compliment. She's no Rachel Maddow, and that's saying a lot. Take that however you'd like. Anyway, historic approval ratings. This is just incredible to see. I'm really happy for him. You know that? I'm just happy for him. I'm happy for the GOP because, there's been so much noise and so much hostility coming from one side. And then what do you know? It turns out most of the country likes the guy. And you know that if he's at 55%, he's actually way higher because we still have this sort of shy polling thing going on where people don't really want to admit, yeah, we like what Donald Trump is doing, but they love it. And you know what they really love? They love the fact that he's cracking down on crime because who wouldn't want that, for goodness sakes? I mean, who wouldn't want to have a safer neighborhood? Isn't that what we kind of aspire to keep ourselves and our children safe in this world? My goodness, take a look at some of the internals on this. 55% approval rating according to the latest poll. It was done by Daily Mail in conjunction with JL Partners, and 45% disapproving. So that's, the Democrat base, which is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Just pointing that one out. I mean, the party's like almost nearly extinct at this point. Quote, this is the highest approval figure we have ever shown for Donald Trump, according to the pollster. They had 867 registered voters. It was conducted from August 21st through September 1st. So included that time when you had the media saying, oh, maybe he's dead or something because they couldn't find him. That was their other hoax. It had a 3.3% margin of error, highest on record. In fact, he's up about 6 points from when they last took this poll. And really what it suggests is that Americans like what they're seeing in terms of his doubling down, this war on crime that you saw in Washington, D.C., where he's had already enormous success. That resonates with people. And you know what? That's why you get people in Chicago begging for him to come and help. And this is why Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, and all the Democrats, Pritzker, the rest of them, they don't get it. It's like they're so in their elite little insular world that they don't understand common reality, which is that people want to be able to get to work and back safely every day. And I'm sorry, but if you're living on the south side of Chicago, that's a toss-up. Here, look at Trump's approval rating. Look at that. Wow, what a curve. You just see this massive increase since when? Since he started cracking down on crime in Washington, D.C. I mean, look, even the mayor of D.C., Muriel Bowser, had to admit this. I mean, she's on tape saying thank you. Thank you to federal law enforcement for helping us get carjackings down 87%. This resonates with people left and right, dimwit Dems.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
Yeah, because you know what? This is a city that's had a lot of challenges. Look at the homicide rate. I mean, I've showed you guys this graphic before. It's insane to think that it's 41 per 100,000 in Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital. I mean, it's infuriating, absolutely infuriating. Liberals everywhere. But again, as you look at this graphic and you see that you're safer off in Mexico City or Bogota, Colombia, or Havana, Cuba, or Lima, Peru, you're kind of like, gee, I mean, isn't this the United States of America where we're supposed to have kind of a better situation on our hands, right? Well, people want that, which is, again, why you're now looking at this enormous surge in Donald Trump's popularity. Because, you know, I get it. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I actually happen to find him charming and funny and self-deprecating and all the good things, right, that you kind of want. I keep calling it the je ne sais quoi in the politician, which is very rare. I mean that. Very, very, very rare. Who has a sense of humor and can talk at length about so many different things and have an appreciation for so many different things. That's one Donald Trump. So he's a rare breed in that sense. Genuinely likes people as well. And yet you hadn't seen it enough, in my estimation. I think you're going to see it more in the poll numbers until now. When you look at that dip, think about when that was. That was in April, just as the tariffs exploded onto the scene, and there was a lot of buzz about, okay, this is going to destroy the economy, and there was uncertainty, and people didn't know what it meant. And so that's why you see that plunging number. But he's been on the upswing ever since, and he's going to take it away. I'm telling you, mark my words, I am rarely ever wrong. Truly. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn too much, but there's a reason I'm here and not at Fox anymore. It's because I actually had the wherewithal, there's another word for it, but I'll save you, to go out and say in March 2020, when nobody would say this and they were about to shut down the entire country, this was the most stupid, asinine thing I'd ever heard of. And why was the market trading off 2,000 points? This was totally ridiculous. And hey, you know what? We didn't know a lot right then, but to exaggerate it the way we exaggerated, I predicted would be dangerous politically for Donald Trump and dangerous for the economy. And was I not right? I mean, it cost me my job, but that's okay, because guess what? I'm here. I'm here with you, and we are in the top 100, and it's fantastic. It's all on my own terms, and it's a very different medium. Transparent as H-double-L, right? I'm looking direct in the camera. There's no prompter. There's no middle management. There's no nothing. Just me and you. And we hope the microphones and the cameras work today. Right? Joe, good to see you. Thank you for these videos. He says, I have learned a lot. You're the best. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Mark says, 964, Trish. It's happening, right? Mark, it's happening. I like your little porcupine there. Orange kind of goes with my dress. This is fantastic. Really, really. Joe, again, thank you for the generosity. Much, much, much appreciated. You guys are a fantastic audience. And, you know, today's a day when I think we can really, really celebrate, because a lot of places aren't even going to talk about this. They don't know how to talk about this. You saw Jen Psaki last night say, oh, the polls are terrible. He's doing terrible. And then not even 12 hours later, suddenly, what do you see? The best approval rating on record. And it's a good poll, by the way. This is not like some shoddy poll. When I worked at Fox, they were very, very picky about whose polls you could use, which were basically only theirs. Only theirs. At Fox Business, we were only allowed, the woman who was in charge of all the polls, like she was very territorial about this stuff. My poll is the only one that matters. Well, if you notice the Fox polls, and you know there was one by the Wall Street Journal recently, they're not going to be as favorable. I think that there's some other stuff going on behind the scenes, shall we say there. But this one is good. This one's truthful, and I think this one is fair. I mean, as truthful as it can be, because again, don't forget, you do have a lot of shy voters in there, but I think people are saying, hey, this is wonderful. We are safer than we have ever been in Washington, D.C. And guess what? Chicago, he's coming for you, baby. Chi-Town, listen up, because he's coming for you. And the National Guard is going in. Quick shout out to my company, 76 Research. I told you I'm rarely wrong on things. Well, you know, occasionally we get things wrong, but at 76 Research, we are long-term investors. We are in it for the long haul. Here are 3 of our model portfolios: American Resilience, Inflation Protection, Income Builder, all up and away. These are really, really good stocks to have. We get like basically 10 to 12 in each one of these portfolios. You can get the portfolios at 76portfolios.com, or you can subscribe to my newsletter at 76research.com for all things economic and markets for those of you looking to invest. Donald Trump sending in the National Guard into Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. He is making preparations at this hour. Chicago's freaking out. I mean, for goodness sakes, over the weekend at some Labor Day thing, Johnson sounded like it was like some kind of uprising. I'm like, what are we going out and like, you know, getting out the swords or something? What exactly are you trying to convey here? This was a disturbing rallying call. If you ask me, Mayor Brandon Johnson, take it away.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaying this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong. If this president decides to continue to break this Constitution.
Woo! Okay, so I guess we know what side he's on. He seems to be on the side of the criminals because he does not want any extra help. Oh, Donald Trump's offering to send in law enforcement. He's like, no. We don't want that. We don't want you. I guess because it's Trump. I mean, if it was Biden willing to send it, sure, we'll take it all day long. But it is Donald Trump, and he doesn't want any of Donald Trump's help. He's saying, we got this on our own. Well, I just have to say, Mr. Brandon Johnson, you've got 150 police officers apparently on your detail. You and your wife. Well, you're just sitting pretty now, aren't you? You don't have to worry. I mean, you're not like everyday Joes living on the south side of Chicago. I mean, you got 150. Apparently. So look at this, guys. He was asked about this in a press conference recently. The reporter's like, hey, would you be willing to give up maybe some of your 150 police officers, the huge security detail you and your wife Stacy have, in order to help secure the rest of the city? Look where he takes it.
And your wife, Stacy, be willing to cut your security detail from 150 sworn police officers and put those police officers back on the street where they can protect real Chicagoans?
So we're very proud of the work that we're doing collectively to ensure that our police officers have the resources that they need. As I've said repeatedly, it's policing and affordable housing, it's policing and youth employment, it's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's going to take all of us, the business community, the philanthropic community. We're working collectively with Cook County government, the state of Illinois, the state's attorney as well. The volume of cases that we are pushing towards the state's attorney so that we can continue to close out these cases as we really drill down with our detectives division as they solve crime, as they get the evidence over to the state's attorney, gives her the ability to make the prosecution so that we can continue to deter crime in the city of Chicago. That's the holistic approach that we're taking. Thank you.
It's all about, other things. It's not actually about having more police detail. I mean, if you could just build everybody a house and give them a nice place to live, then everybody would be just fine. Not. I mean, this is what this guy doesn't get. The most basic thing of all the government can provide is security. I mean, what is the Fifth Amendment all about but the securitization of your property? What do we have in our Constitution? The right to life, liberty, happiness, all of this stuff, right? In other words, you need to be safe in order to be free. So these things kind of go hand in hand, Brandy Johnson. Yeah, you kind of need safety in order to be able to do everything else. And, it's great if you have a home, but if somebody's going to break into it, then that nice home that got built for you on government dollars and taxpayer money isn't going to do you a whole lot of good now, is it? We need basics. We need to be safe in our country and in the city of Chicago, and these morons are trying to twist it around. By the way, it's kind of funny. I actually kind of love it because politically, again, it's brilliant. It's the right thing to do, of course. So don't get me wrong. I mean, I hate to reduce all of this to just politics. It is the right thing to do. You want to keep these cities as safe as humanly possible. So if Donald Trump can send in more in terms of resources, federal resources, National Guard troops to help secure the city of Chicago, by all means, take that. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Take that opportunity all day long, Brandon Johnson. You don't fight that, because if you do, you again look like you are on the side of who? Dun-dun-dun. The criminals. Okay, you are backing the criminals. We can't arrest criminals because it would be bad for them, because for some reason this is a race thing? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is all about making sure people are safe. And I don't care if you're black, white, blue, purple, yellow, or orange. All right? You need to be safe. Lori Lightfoot. She's the one that got voted out. She's the former mayor of Chicago. You remember the one during COVID, during the shutdown, who said nobody could go to the hairdresser? All kinds of small hairdressing businesses lost so much money, sometimes their entire business, because the barbershops and the hairstyling salons, they all had to shut down and they weren't allowed to have contact with anybody. But no, Lori Lightfoot, with the little bit of hair that she has, insisted that she got to have her hair and makeup artist with her because she was, excuse me, the mayor, the face of Chicago. And what a face indeed. Lori Lightfoot taking it away here on, how it's somehow Republicans' fault and big businesses' fault and Donald Trump's fault that her city is so crime-ridden. Good luck, Lori.
If he really cared about violent crime, any of those things, because this is not about violent crime, it's about something else.
Woo, there we go again. You see, and then we get into the whole race thing, because that's what it has to be about. It can't actually be you taking responsibility for your crappy city that is so dangerous they have to send in the National Guard, okay? Because it's not about, apparently, any individual responsibility, any individual politician's responsibility. Brandon Johnson just wants moolah, so he can build all those houses, so he can give away more free stuff. And when he's offered resources for law enforcement, he doesn't want it. I mean, Joe Scarborough, I won't play you the clip because we've seen it enough, but Joe Scarborough asked him 5 different ways, okay? 5 different ways the other day on Morning Joe. This is MSNBC, okay? Like Morning Joe's like, hey, but wouldn't you take this? And he's not without the housing money. What an idiot. What a disservice he's doing to his people. And by the way, Donald Trump, enjoy every bit of it because he's riding it all the way to the bank with those poll numbers. This is making the Democrats look like the fools they really are. I mean, they've been so exposed for everything, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it great? Make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. You know who else is being exposed? You know who else may soon be wearing the color orange, and it's not going to look as good on her. Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook. You know what? Dan Bongino warned of this. Lisa Cook, you should have listened to my friend Bongino. Letitia James, you should have listened to my friend Bongino. And Adam Schiff, you definitely should have listened to my friend Bongino. He's now assistant head of the FBI. And Well, here's the latest and greatest for Lisa Cook. In case you don't know, this is the woman who Joe Biden appointed to be the first black woman. That's neither here nor there, but they're making a big deal of it, so I might as well let you know. First black woman on the board of the Federal Reserve. There's 7 governors on the board of the Federal Reserve. They are the ones that are responsible for setting mortgage rates, and this lady, she's in for it. The DOJ has just announced today, ladies and gentlemen, an investigation into Ms. Lisa Cook for alleged mortgage fraud. Apparently, at least 3 different incidences of mortgage fraud. Watch.
Headlines coming in on the escalating mortgage fraud accusations and controversy embroiling Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, who President Trump fired. Cook's lawyer, Abby Lowell, in a new court filing, is trying to blame the Biden White House, trying to pin it on the Biden White House and the U.S. Senate themselves for not catching Cook's mortgage fraud allegations, claiming they did not vet her enough. After she listed 3 homes as her principal residences, she's accused of doing that to get cheaper and lower mortgage rates. Joining us now, Florida Governor
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, does not have cause to remove her.
So, he's fired her, basically, and he fired her in a very public way, and her lawyer, Abby Lowell, who just incidentally also happens to be Letitia James's lawyer, and who was also Hunter Biden's lawyer, and who is in talks to become John Bolton's lawyer. So, he's a busy man. He's going to make like family-style wealth. It'll last generations after this whole ordeal is done. The point being that he went to the court and made a filing saying, it's really the fault of the Biden administration because they should have vetted her better. I'm sorry. It's somebody else's fault. Here we go again. It's like Chicago all over again. It's the Republicans' fault and those big businesses' fault that we have so much violence in the streets of Chicago. Yeah, right. Just like it is somehow Biden's fault that Lisa Cook decided to allegedly scam some mortgage companies. I mean, you can't get better than this. There's some kind of street reporter. I don't know who he is, but this thing is making the rounds, kind of going viral online, and I want to show you. We made a little short of it. He decided to go find out what he could about one of Lisa Cook's alleged primary homes. Take a listen. Someone decided to check and see whether or not Lisa Cook, the Biden-appointed Fed member, really lived in her primary residence. This is what they found.
The door's dirty. There's a key lockbox right there. There's a white man at the dining room table. It's weird. I don't think she's married. Hello? How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. My name's Charlie. I'm a reporter. This house is in the news. I was wondering if Lisa Cook lives here, or do you rent?
Yeah, we're just renting.
I'm sorry? Okay, you just living here?
No.
Okay, just renting?
No.
I'm sorry?
You have to talk to the owner tonight.
Okay, the owner, would you have a contact number? Oh, we'll have to talk to the owner. They're just living here.
These are just allegations, but they're not looking good for one Lisa Cook. She might be cooked. Yeah, you could say that again, right? Poor Lisa might be cooked. 3rd mortgage allegation, okay? This one just came out. So just to get you up to speed, okay, this woman, she used to be, I guess, a professor maybe at Ann Arbor in Michigan, and then she got to be the first black female on the board of the Federal Reserve, which is a big, big deal. Biden was like, da-da-da, look what I did. Look what I did. Look what you did. Look what you did, buddy boy, to the point where now her attorney, Abby Lowell, is blaming you because you didn't vet her hard enough. You should have looked into those mortgages maybe a little bit better. Excuse me? I mean, that's one wild legal excuse if I ever heard one, again, judging from what we just heard from that Fox report. So here she is. She's hit with a 3rd mortgage allegation. Bill Pulte is like all over this stuff, okay? And he's not messing around. I want you to see him speaking earlier today on CNBC. William Pulte, who runs the Federal Housing Financing Authority.
In 2008, the Housing and Economic Recovery Act was passed and gave enormous authority to this position in which I sit. It didn't happen by accident. There was a housing crash. A big part of the reason that there was a housing crash was because people were buying mortgages and engaging in mortgage fraud. So I'm not going to be intimidated from pursuing mortgage fraud just because somebody has the special title of being a Fed governor. This is my job to ensure the safety and soundness of the mortgage market. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or Democrat or a Fed governor or somebody who mans a convenience store. If you commit mortgage fraud, you know, you need to be held accountable, period.
Period. Right? We're going to get to that new video on Letitia. But again, period. You do need to be held accountable. And she's being held accountable. So again, Justice Department issuing subpoenas into part of the probe into Fed Governor Lisa Cook, the criminal investigation. Let me know, it is a criminal investigation, and it centers into whether Cook submitted fraudulent information on mortgage loan applications. Just to give a little bit more color on that, because it's important to understand, I want to show you exactly what Bill Pulte.
It's very concerning, and the DOJ will have to figure out what they do with that.
Yeah. Very, 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 very concerning, okay? But you know the irony of all this? I mean, think about it. They tried to go after Donald Trump, Letitia James did, with mortgage fraud. And in a poetic sort of turn, here he is going after them with the very thing they tried to use against him. And I'm just going to tell you, as I said before, Bongino warned of this. He said, we're not messing around. Remember this? This was about 6-8 weeks ago.
Let me ask you about, are you going to be looking into, Cash and Pam, any potential collusion between the DOJ, Letitia James, the novel legal theory of Alvin Bragg, or Nathan Wade, or Fonnie Willis, and the DOJ? Is that something? Has anything come up? Is there any way to determine whether or not evidence was destroyed in any of these cases?
Well, there's always a way to determine that. I don't want to comment on that specific case right now for a reason. I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice on that. But I want to say this. You know, the FBI obviously has the public corruption portfolio. And yes, if you are a corrupt politician out there, if you are engaged in behavior, you know what you're doing, we're going to find you. I promise. No one is going to get off. The days of selecting and putting your partisan bias on and taking care of your friends, those days are over. You know what?
Boom. Those days are over. And he goes on to say, he doesn't care. He doesn't care who you're friends with. He doesn't care if Biden appointed you, right, to the Fed board. He doesn't care if you're Letitia James and, you know, you are getting who knows what money from who knows who. He means business. The DOJ, the FBI do mean business. And you know what? This is going to be a problem for one, Letitia James. You see, there is a lot riding on Letitia James. She has at least one investigation going on into her alleged mortgage fraud. She also has another investigation going on by the DOJ into, out of New York, how she may have violated the civil rights of the then former president, now current president of the United States of America. And she has done nothing but double down in the process. Well, let me just say, this woman, Letitia James, has it coming to her. But it's also just worth taking a step back and taking a look at some humiliating new video that came in. Because, you know, this woman thinks she is the bomb. I mean, she's Tish James. And she is drunk on her own power. I mean, and I won't play it for you because I know, like, we've seen it enough. But you know, the too male, too pale, too stale thing, and how she was going after Trump, and every single day she was just going to go in and go after him and after him and after him. He's not my president. And I mean, she was positively vile and insanely political in how she approached everything. And she thought she was, you know, she thought she was king, okay? She thought she was King Tut, for goodness sakes. Well, King Tut is now reduced to this. Letitia James, this is just getting humiliating. Here she is dancing in the West Indian parade there for Labor Day, and no one cares.
Make some noise for your Attorney General, Trish James.
It almost makes one feel bad for her, not. Not. I just wanted you to see her in all her glory. It's quite a dress. And oh my gosh, she thinks she's a beauty queen. She gets to wear a sash and everything. I've worn a few of those sashes myself. Normally they are for beauty queens. Anyway, she's the honoree or the honored guest. And, I would say the porta potties in the background, they add a certain kind of panache. Don't you think? There's no one. They're like, give it up for Letitia James. And there's no one. There's this one guy. Check him out. He's like the only person that even wants a picture of her dressed in orange. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, the whole thing is just embarrassing. That was the West Indy Parade in Brooklyn over the weekend. This is what Letitia James has been reduced to. She's not going to get elected again. I mean, she may have some support in the New York City area, but trust me, you go outside New York City and there is no support for one Letitia James, because you know what? She's, again, on the side of the criminals and the side of people who are here illegally. And that does not play in the rest of New York. I mean, go to Buffalo, New York, for example, where I have family. Like, that is not going to fly in Buffalo, New York. In fact, when I visit there, I see Trump signs all day long. And so Kathy Hochul, Letitia James, things are changing. And you might as well wise up. Not that she ever could. Here she is on some podcast still singing the same old tune.
People are rising up and standing up against, proud of the fact that the one institution that's standing up and fighting back and holding this administration accountable are the courts.
You know, she kind of says the same thing over and over and over again. She's got these like little expressions and she just kind of, it's like plug and play. No matter where she is, she just keeps using. By the way, she has still not answered the questions really on the mortgage fraud, other than to say it was a clerical error because somehow this was the power of attorney that made the mistake. I'm just going to go back to the fact that you are an attorney, lady. Oh, clearly you're a very bad attorney because you can't even get your mortgage application right, unless that was entirely what you intended to do. We shall see. We shall see. All right, Peppermint Patty. My goodness, this woman is just getting so desperate. I realize the ratings are terrible there on Ms., the network Ms. Now, whatever the heck they are, MSNBC, formerly known as, it's going to be like Prince, formerly known as MSNBC, or her ratings just keep going lower and lower and lower and lower. I mean, it's like the Democrat Party, for goodness sakes. What do you know? Anyway, she seems to have reached a new level of desperation. I want you to remember, of course, that this is the same woman who covered day in, day out for one Mr. Joe Biden, former president of the United States, who was clearly, more often than not, pretty incapacitated. Okay, we can say that now freely, right? I don't have to say, well, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a human being with two eyes in my head and a brain, okay? And I know what I'm seeing. Anyway, she apparently didn't. And then she decided to go on the attack and suggest that Donald Trump's health was bad. Watch.
I think cover up is such a loaded phrase. I never saw that person, not a single time, and I was in the Oval Office every day, that was on that debate stage. I'm not a doctor. He was a person who told a very long story in the Oval Office, but that was the case 30 years earlier, right? So how do you differentiate? I don't know. Cover up is a very loaded term. It's a bit of a dangerous term.
He had been basically absent from the public eye since last Tuesday. And that absence, and you may have seen this over the weekend if you looked at any social media platform, prompted quite a wave of online speculation about the president's health and well-being. We may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public.
I mean, you know, forget the fact that he does like 4 hours of live stuff a day and brings cameras into the cabinet meetings. So, I mean, we've got the most transparent president in history, but God forbid he takes 72 hours off and she's, you know, rolling out the funeral truck. For goodness sakes, I mean, Jen, Peppermint Patty, Jenny, former press person for Joe Biden. I'll never get over that. Did you not ever notice this one?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
Yeah, I had to watch that twice. Okay, that's funny. I mean, but again, you know, she's got it coming to her. She's got terrible ratings. She's clearly not a very honest person, given what she said then and what she continues to say now. And by the way, she's just flat out wrong. Again, as we saw last night, 12 hours later, historic poll numbers after Jenny said this.
We may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public. But you don't actually need baseless online conspiracies to explain why he might not want to show his face in public right now. I mean, for starters, there's the polling, and boy, is it brutal.
Yeah, real brutal. Historical, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has never seen such numbers. This is amazing. 55% approval rating and climbing higher and higher and higher and higher. I mean, that's why the media kind of wishes the worst. I don't even like to say it because it's, well, pretty morbid, but this is who they are and what they do. And Donald Trump just yesterday or the day before, they're kind of all blending together here, forgive me, responded to these rumors. I believe it was Peter Doocy, a correspondent at Fox, that asked him about it. Watch.
I get reports. Now, you knew I did.
It's true. I mean, so, you know, totally different standard. The media is getting busted for this. I loved the way Scott Jennings took on that CNN host. He did this brilliantly.
Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, holding up a phone in front of a rally saying, well, we thought we were going to wake up and find out the president had died. Someday it'll happen. Someday it'll happen. I used to say he was the biggest buffoon in American politics, but it's worse now. No political official, no elected official should be walking around saying, well, I'm hoping we wake up one day and the president of the United States has died. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I am looking at the chat. I'm sorry on the microphone. The microphone's good, but the clip volumes are way too low. Thanks, guys. You know what? I see it right now. Gosh darn it. Thank you for letting me know that. I wish I had seen that earlier. They should be good right now. Let me try again. This is one of the hazards here of live shows. Watch.
Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, holding up a phone in front of a rally saying, well, we thought we were going to wake up and find out the president had died. Someday it'll happen. Someday it'll happen. I used to say he was the biggest buffoon in American politics, but it's worse now. No political official, no elected official should be walking around saying, well, I'm hoping we wake up one day and the president of the United States has died. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. It is. It is. Thank you for pointing out the volume. We'll get that corrected. I think it should be corrected as of now. But I'll tell you, shame on the media for trying to do that. That's really just an abomination, if you ask me, just an abomination. And shame on seven Republicans, ladies and gentlemen, that decided to give LaMonica McIver a pass. LaMonica McIver, you know well, right? The woman who was caught, the lady in red, there in New Jersey outside the Delancey Detention Center, where LaMonica decided that she would try and muscle her way through with all her might to try and, I don't know what she was trying to do. I guess she wanted to go in and see the detention center. I mean, what was she going to do if she actually got through? I don't know, but she tried to use her force, use her might to push her way through. Let's take a look at what just went down, okay? You have 7 Republicans that just, for whatever reason, decided to revolt from where the rest of the party was and actually decided to give her a pass. She was up for censure. She was being censured by Congress. Now, I'm going to show you the tape and tell me, would you not censure this woman? It seems kind of obvious. It's one of those things that you would do, right? Because this is sort of unacceptable behavior from a member of Congress. And yet these idiots decided to let her off the hook because this guy right here from Nebraska, Don Bacon, arriving for a House Republican conference meeting at the U.S. Capitol on May 6/25 per the Daily Mail. He apparently was one of the ones that led this because he wants the Ethics Committee to finish its report first. Come on. I mean, it's not like there's questions. It's not like the mortgage fraud, right? The alleged mortgage fraud where we say, okay, well, did somebody have an excuse? What is their position? I mean, this whole thing was right out there on tape, for goodness sakes. You got her leaving the courthouse saying, oh, I wasn't guilty of anything. I was doing everything just fine. And yet, what did we see? What did we see? She's registering a not guilty verdict, but I'm just saying, here's the video. Wow. Woo! You saw that? Okay. So the reality is she's looking at 17 years for that. She has been indicted there in New Jersey. Alina Habba is all over it. And yet these 7 people, so we're talking the guy I just showed you, plus Mike Flood, also Nebraska. So Nebraska's Don Bacon, Mike Flood, David Joyce, and Michael Turner out of Ohio, David Valadeo out of California. These are all Republicans that voted against the move to censure Ms. McIver. The 2 present votes came from Andrew Garbarino of New York and Nathan Moran of Texas, 2 other Republicans. So they're doing the work of Hakeem Jeffries right there for him.
Continue to stand strongly behind LaMonica McIver. She did not break the law. She will have her day in court, and she will be vindicated.
Okay. Well, again, I saw the tape, and I'm just going to say this. You're not putting her in prison for 17 years, guys. You're just censuring her. And by censuring her, you're basically saying, we don't approve of this kind of behavior. Was it really that hard for you to go out on a limb and say, we don't approve of that kind of behavior when you could have called up and made an appointment? Or maybe you could have negotiated something. After all, the Newark, New Jersey mayor worked with Alina Habba. He admitted, maybe things got out of hand. She got to say her piece. He got to say his piece. And he said, he shouldn't have done that. And it went away. But LaMonica, because, she's LaMonica. She's not just Monica. She's LaMonica, like La Regina, the Queen, Monica. What a name. LaMonica McIver decided it was more important for her to fight this thing in court because for whatever reason, when you go like this, and again, you saw the tape, I saw the tape, apparently that's supposed to be fine. That's just you doing your job. I don't think so. I don't think that's just you doing your job. I think that's you getting a little bit carried away on the job. And I think that actually, if you're a member of Congress, especially if you're a member of Congress, you should be held, you know what? Let's go out on a limb and say to a higher standard. She's like, if they can do this to me, a member of Congress, imagine what they can do to you. Well, lady, I realize you're junior. I realize you're new to government. I realize that you probably don't deserve the job you got, but somehow somebody found you electable. You are to conduct yourself with a little more decorum. Okay? Just a little more. Because you shouldn't have been doing that. As for these 7 members of Congress, all Republicans that decided to break ranks and go with Hakeem Jeffries and AOC and the rest of them, you know what I'll say? Good riddance. You know what? We know we can't count on you. And we know that you actually don't believe in any form of civility either. Because I don't know how you can look at that tape and think that that's normal behavior. No, not possible. Not possible. Not in my book anyway. Have you gone to 76 Research yet? Let's take a check on these markets. We just put out a note yesterday talking about gold because gold has been on one heck of a tear. Certainly this year, and we have our reasons for still liking it even at these levels. I don't want to get into too much because there's disclosures, etc., but you can see it all there on 76research.com. You can get the newsletter for $1 a month. DOLLAR is the code. Use code word dollar. It's my company. I run it with my friend Rob Horton. You can see we've been very successful in our 3 model portfolios, so we're very, very proud of that. And I'm also very, very proud of this podcast and what we've been able to accomplish here. And you guys are amazing. Amazing. I mean it because you know what? I wouldn't have known that the volume on the clips was so low had it not been for you. We're going to have to fix that in the final edit. You know, the thing goes out in a final edit version, actually over on Spotify. So you can see all the video there for free on Spotify. But the raw one with all the kinks and, you know, me as I am, when the volume's up or down or the camera's on or off, this is the version you're seeing. That's how you know we are live. Thank you for everything you do to make this a success. I will be back with you here right again tomorrow. Until then, my friends, take care and enjoy knowing that it's a good day. America has won. You have won. Donald Trump has won. And the momentum is just getting started.